Alright, it's the next day. I started painting and totally forgot to show you how it turned out. That turned out great. Where else? Yeah, all these turned out real good. I brushed them off and used a wet rag to clean everything off. And I mean, it turned out great. It really, really did. Not a whole lot of light on this side, but it came, I mean, it did good. I'm really impressed. And don't forget, I'm gonna put a bead of caulk down here, so I'm not really worried about that. And all this from yesterday, that filled in beautifully. It's dark because I just used a wet rag to clean it off, so, but it's dry. I'm just so pleased. Alright, I know it's not much to look at. That is not a wave in the wall, that's a holiday from where I skipped over it with the paint. But this is ready for second coat. You can't even tell where I made the patches, kinda, maybe right there, but that's okay, because I mean that line goes up. If I would have tried to smooth out that line, if I were to try to smooth out that line right there, it would have chipped all of that out, and that would have been a bigger mess. I can live with that. And I hate that you can still see the line, but what I think is going on is that this stucco has more paint on it than this, and so there's more of a buildup on this side. But I mean, what can you do? It looks better than it did. And I got to cut some quarter round to go here. I got to paint this on the outside with satin paint, and it looks good. It just needs another coat. And this is where the back door used to be, and when I had the new floors installed, they never fixed that, so I'm going to do that. I got my bonding agent. We'll go ahead and get that put in here, and I'm going to cram this concrete down in here and make it as flush with the other concrete as possible. Now when all this concrete dries, when I put it in here, I've already cleaned all this off, I'll come back and we'll get all this residue off. I got my bonding agent. I already shook it, but I'll shake it again. It's been sitting here a minute. Alright, let's get the bonding agent on here. I'm not worried about the edge of the wood. My chicken. Now I've already vacuumed all this out, so don't you worry about that. I'm really going to put this bonding agent on very well. I'm going to pack it in by hand, and then I'll make it even with my knife, drywall knife. So it's going to kind of look goofy while I'm packing it in. Okay, there we go. Right now my main concern is packing it down in there so it keys itself in. I'll clean it up here in a second. Alright, a little bit more bonding agent down over here. to make it flush with the floor, and I'll get it off the wood here in a minute. Try to give that indentation. Now, I had to take my glove off. My hand was sweating so bad. And try to smooth this out a little bit, and then I'll come back. And I'll come back when it's dry, and then we'll see how this turned out, because I'm kind of excited. And then I'll get a scraper, get all this glue off of here, get my wire brush and clean all of this really, really well. And then I'm going to seal everything. All right, I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I want to get this feathered out as much as possible. Make it as smooth as possible. I gotta be careful so I don't expose too much of the aggregate that's in here. But I'm trying to get it as smooth as possible. Clean it up a little bit. You don't want to fuss with it too much because you'll start seeing the sand. It'll bring it up to the top. I think that looks pretty good. Alright, we'll get the rest of these bricks cleaned up. Get all this built up. Okay. Get all this built up wax removed. You know, it's got years of, I'm sure, floor polish on it. Get all these cleaned up. Get that off. And I'm kind of excited to see how this is going to turn out. Well, good morning. It's the next day. It's dry. I think it turned out great. It is rainy outside, so my light is not going to be as good as it was yesterday. So my goal today, before I go to work, I have 2 hours, is to scrape this adhesive off. The transition strip was back in the day, and I can't believe what 30 years later nobody has scraped it off, including moi. And then I'm going to try, see how it's real shiny? That's floor wax. So I've got my drill with my wire brush, and I have my scraper, and I have my towel and a pair of needle nose for whatever reason, and I'm going to get the vacuum cleaner and try to get this up. What is the problem? Now you're gonna get him upset and he's gonna come up here and start something. Well, shh. Do your thing. Alright, I'm busy. Knock it off. Don't backtalk me, just hush. We've got some unknown substances like that right there. We're gonna start over here. Alright, so I have my N95. We'll see how this works. Yeah, that's not quite working.